Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello from my heart, everybody. This is Rock and Roll Reverend Sue, and I'm back on the eve of the 2016 presidential election, which is going to be held tomorrow, November 8th, 2016. And tonight I am joined by my frequent co-host and great friend, Todd Curran, and he is the author of The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. An excellent book if you like rock and roll and numerology. And what Todd is going to do is he's going to give a numerological breakdown of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's numerology. So, you get a little more in-depth perspective of their personalities according to numerology. And I thought it would be interesting to do this, especially the night before the election. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my friend and co-host, Todd Curran. Hi, Todd. Welcome to the show.
How are you, Susan?
I'm excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. So what is your take on all of this presidential stuff going on? I know this has been like one of the most controversial elections in history, and maybe you want to dispense your wisdom about that.
Well, let me start with the fact that we're in 2016. If you add all those numbers together, the 2 and the 1 and the 6, you get 9, and 9 is endings. And so it's very intense. There is a lot of purging that has to occur. We don't know if this purging is good or bad. What we do know is that a clean slate comes next in a 1 year, which will be in 2017. So things will calm down a little bit. But with the 16 in the name, 16 having to do with vanity, pride, covert operations, and then if you subtract the 2 in the 16, abuse of personal freedom, maybe no boundaries in sexuality, and also if another way to look at it is if you add up those numbers, you get 18, which is the collective shadow energy that we're seeing right now. We're seeing it from both candidates, and I think that Trump would make a very good joker because he's got a lot of people voting for him, and he tends to do whatever he wants, which is pretty interesting. So we're in an erratic universal year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And his personal numbers add up to a 14, which is somebody that's off the chain. Kind of like Jim Morrison and some of the, wilder folks out there. He's kind of a loose cannon there.
Yeah, they are. They're like 14s are supernova because 1 in 4 is 5, which is Mercury. Mercury's going around really quickly. Well, 14 is like the reversal of. It's like a retrograde. And it can also bring genius because they don't think like other people. But the loose cannon in the sense that all the karmic numbers have a problem with boundaries. In the case of the 14, it has to do with how they communicate and also sexual boundaries, because 1 and 4 is 5, indulgence in the 5 senses. So for Trump to be looked into for potential pedophile charges and stuff like that, it doesn't mean that he did it. It's just that when the 14 comes up, those will be the very energies that will be displayed, and they do come from past lives when it's in your birth name. So it's cumulative, and it's in the very core of his numbers. And then he's born on the 14th. And another interesting fact about that is 1 and 4 is 5. It sits right in the middle. It fits the fact that he's a Gemini, which is also Mercury ruled. It is a number of revolution. It's a good thing that he never had a drink like his brother Fred Trump, who died of alcoholism. We give him credit for having that awareness, because 14s have addictive energy and they have a hard time sleeping and settling down as Trump does. Having said that, it gives him a very quick mind, and a mind that can cut to the chase, and because he sees things differently than most people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's a super businessman.
Einstein was born on the 14th, right? And they thought he was learning disabled. Well, he had a different way of seeing things. So when Clinton said in the second debate that he's might have been the third, that he's in an altered reality, well, that could be the higher level of the 14, you know. The businessman aspect of it comes through his birth date, which is a 4. 4 dealing with the material world, and then 14s do good in business speculations, but they will lose everything at least twice because they're risk takers all the way. They learn through their mistakes and through their experiences, and looks like he's he's going to prosper whether he wins or not in this one.
I think so.
through his involvement.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the press that he's gotten over this election has just been amazing. You know, I've never seen any election like this before. And, and I hear that a lot of people are unfriending each other on Facebook and just being nasty to each other because they feel so strongly about each candidate. And, I just have something quick to say, just don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, it's an election, and whoever wins, it's, we the people will fix it no matter what. That's what I feel. How about you, Todd?
Well, it's affecting us all internally. What we're seeing reflected on the outside is a reflection of, like these shadow energies that Jung talked about that we try to repress. Well, we're seeing them in both these candidates, and I think what we need to remember is that this is going to continue on after the 8th. That's where I found my peace, because no matter who wins or loses, the bottom line is that there is a lot of things that need to be changed, and so we need to look more towards the future than to worry about the outcome. I'm sure it's already determined. We've had so much time to look at this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, before we go on to read Hillary Clinton, we'll take a short musical break, and then you'll read Hillary Clinton, and then there is one caller, so I'm just going to ask that they be a little patient because it's a half-hour show tonight, so we'll get to you as soon as possible. But we'll take a quick little break, and then you give Hillary's numbers, and then we'll take the caller. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm your choice.
great song, and Todd actually suggested this to me. I never heard it before. I can't believe it. It's been out since 1972 by Alice Cooper, Elected. And it's perfect for this time of year, for sure. Well, welcome back, Todd.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, now we heard about Donald Trump. Now, what about Hillary Clinton's numbers? What does her numbers show?
Clinton's numbers are all 3, 6, and 9. And so they're similar. They're all divisors of each other. And she has a 3 plus 6 is 9, which is her destiny number. And it's in her future, she would be in the spotlight. Trump's is a 4 and a 5, which equals 9. So they both have 9 destinies, which is being in front of a lot of people. There's no avoiding it with 9. 3, 6, and 9 are more status quo numbers, sticking with the way that things are. And there can be a feeling of entitlement with those numbers. Well, she's been involved for 30 years, so that would make sense. And she does have a problem in her numbers. It's a minor problem. I had to look. Her karmic numbers weren't as evident. She has 14 letters in her name, Hillary Clinton, and that shows some misuse of personal freedom. But the problem she's having right now is written in the predictive forecasting numbers, but these numbers go away, unlike Trump's that are in his very core through his cumulative lives. Clinton had a 14 destiny, and Monica Lewinsky was a 14, so they were to get together and do a dance. So his is more ingrained. She is under the number 16. Her name adds up to 6, which has to do with children and community. It even looks pregnant if you look at the number. And in October, which is a 10-month, or if you add them together, you get 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Then she's in a 7, or in reality, she's in a 16. And 1 and 6 is 7. 7 is secret information. 16 is crossing the line with that or being investigated for it. We know that because of Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots board on the 16th, who was caught spying on where? The other sidelines. It shows how these karmic numbers, they break past what's considered to be normal boundaries. Having said that, this is just found in the predictive areas of where she is now. It is not stuck within her number cycles as the birth name is, but it's why she is being investigated right now. Another interesting thing that I found out yesterday was that Director James Comey is under investigation also for misuse of power in the FBI. And first thing I wanted to know, well, I wonder if he's a 14. Well, sure enough, James Comey Jr. adds up to a 14 birth name, and he's born on December 14. So we have some serious misuse of freedom here. And I'm not saying because that number's there that he's guilty, but, all I'm saying is that in the thousands of charts I've looked at, those are the type of numbers that cross the line. Bradley Manning, that shared secret military files that sits in jail, is a 14-5. How much is 5 in the middle? Bradley Manning is now Chelsea Manning. Okay, so you can see how to explain how these numbers are in the middle. Bruce Jenner is a 14-5, and what's Bruce's name now? I can't remember.
Oh, it's Caitlin.
Caitlin. That's right. Yeah. So these are numbers that often sit in the middle, and they can't make up their mind. What they are great at doing is manipulating media and giving people. They know exactly what to tell people what they want, and they go from that's the problem that I have with Trump's numbers is he knows exactly, as a lot of politicians do, what to say, and he changes his mind in a minute, And so there's really no knowing where he's going, and that's made him kind of exciting to a lot of people. The only problem with that is The difference between 5, which is change, and 14 is chaos. Do we need any more change, or is it time to have somebody like Clinton in there that has stable numbers? We've already had the change. The change is going to continue anyway. The investigation's not going to go away. So that's what concerns me about Trump's numbers is 14's kind of have an itchy trigger finger. You know, he said, well, why don't we just go in and bomb them? Well, hold on a minute here. We don't have to just, go in there and, we got to have a plan. You don't just go in and bomb somebody. So, but the thing I think interesting about it is that it is my belief, from my perception, that he is thriving on the fear. They're going to come into our country. We need to build a wall. Well, the problem with 14, and we know this through Hitler and other people, I'm not saying Trump is Hitler, is that 5 is tolerance, 14 is not. And if he's going to get caught in that divisive type of energy, there's going to be quite a revolution. There already has been, but that's the problem with 14. Even Lincoln had a very secondary 14 in his name. What does that mean? It's not that important or prevalent. He came in as a solid 6 like a Clinton, but he was born on 2/12. 2 and 12 is 14. So the secondary influence, he would have to try to unite the whole country, the North and the South, and that didn't work. So, he did his job, but it was at the cost of his life. So, 14's a little dangerous. We know that because Evel Knievel was a double 14. But God bless him for going there. Somebody's got to go there. And it is a deprogramming number.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to turn the system upside down. I think that's already been done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what a 14 does. The mover and the shakers, keep it moving forward. So he's there for a reason. They're both there for a reason, and
I think he was meant to.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was meant to bring out certain aspects of Hillary, and I believe Hillary was meant to bring out certain aspects of Donald. I think both sides, had to put the other person in the spotlight and see what their faults were. I believe so. Eventually, they'll be able to work on them, and
absolutely,
not only
it's
change
a good
things,
thing,
but heal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny. It's an evolution, Susan, and it's why so many people are taking it personal. Think for a minute that what we see out there is not a reflection of our own lives and things that we need to change. That's why we don't like to see some of this.
Oh,
because, these are things that we suppress that they are having to deal head on. They're dealing with their karma now, and we can't avoid our own because we're right in it. It's a big dance.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
we do have a caller.
Oh, and then by the way, what's that?
Oh, we do have a caller. Just to let you know, we have a caller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I
sorry,
throw
I didn't mean
something
to cut
else
you
in?
off, but
because I have one final thing, and that is, let's look at the election numbers really quick for tomorrow. For both candidates, the universal year is a 1. And both of their personal numbers are 1, so they line up perfectly. We're in a 9 universal year. Clinton is in a 9 universal month. We will be in a 2 universal month. Clinton is in a 2 universal month. 2 is woman. So it looks like, in my theory of these numbers, and it's why Obama won, his 2008 is a 1, and he is a 1 as to why he won in 2008. Well, okay, so hers are in perfect accord. The fascinating part about it is, and it's hard to read, is that Trump is in an 11, and because we're in the 11th month, 11 and 11 is 22, he's in a double master number. So it would appear that she would win with those numbers, but he's got these forceful double numbers that you and I have talked about vibrate at a higher frequency. And even though they're not lined up perfectly, the 22 is still a 2, even though 2 and 2 is 4. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens, and it shows him pushing really hard. And the question of this, will the yin energy win this time. The more settled energy. You know, the brick is thrown into the water, and the water doesn't resist. And I always think of, most of us think of yang energy because in 19 in the 20th century, we were under the number one for 1,000 years. We're used to force, so it's going to be interesting to see which wins out here, the female or the male energy, because it is. I believe it'll be the female. It's only a matter of time. Right? Huh?
Yeah. I believe it'll
because
be the female energy because there was and there was a prediction. Yeah. I won't say by who, but somebody had said that it was going to be women that was going to bring peace about in the world, women leaders. So I believe, even though Hillary has her faults, I believe that she will be the one who will bring peace. So,
well, listen, she's a double Scorpio Pisces. She can also hold her own if she wants to. There's nothing weak about her. Anybody that has that, her strength right now is in her silence.
Right. She's very strong, especially with all these accusations coming up, and then finding, the FBI and everything saying, oh well, we don't have enough evidence and this and that, and to go through all that.
I think she's being soul tested, Susan. She's being soul tested, so. And the thing is on her birthday, on October 26th, when she went into the 16, there's a numerologist that predict, okay, she's going to carry that 16 till November 27th. I don't know about that because when you hit November, you add a number, right? So she is now coming into 17 energy, which is trust. So I felt that all of this is for her to also trust herself. It's a big test.
It is. Oh, we only have about 5 minutes left. I just want to take this one caller. And
let's do it.
Yeah, thanks. I got to apologize to everybody about doing just a half-hour show. I just recently got over a very serious lung problem, so my talking is only limited. So without further ado, thank you, caller, for waiting. Caller, last four digits, 2619. I'm going to put you on now.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for taking my call. I hope you get the feeling better. My question is when you were talking about the 22 and that number vibrating at a higher level, would that give Trump an edge? Because we always know that vibrating at such a high level could help him win.
Oh, yeah.
No, that is, this is one of the most difficult charts I've ever read because, they're higher vibrations, but they are not specifically in accord with the universal numbers. And so it makes for a very interesting analogy as to what will happen. When I had my class and people asked, I said, well, the numbers all line up for Clinton, but he's going to do everything he can. So I in my mind, and the question is, look, we ever throw out the idea of free will, and nothing's harder than predictive numerology. You can figure anyone's numbers out through their name, right? So this predictive is later for me because it's whatever our numbers are already. We got enough to deal with the the past life energy. But will the intimidation factor bring it on? Because that's what I think of him being in an 11 and a 22. Will he? There's a lot of people that I think feel intimidated by it,
Right, and 11's a master number. Also, when you got Hillary's number, did you go by her maiden name, her full name, Hillary Rodham Clinton, or did you? Because I haven't actually added it up. I was just wondering.
It's a 6. It's a 6, and it didn't change. Yeah, it didn't change. Her maiden and marriage name are identical, and that happens all the time when people marry.
Right.
Because if the energy changed too much, they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Gotcha.
So
I just hope they do something about Obamacare. I just know, being from Ohio, that my premiums are right under $600, and I've already been told they're going to go up to like $937 a month. That's more than my mortgage. That's ridiculous. Yeah. It's more than my mortgage. So, to me, that's what I'm voting on. I mean, when you can't afford health care, that's sad. I mean, when the numbers are that steep, I mean, $20 or even $50 more a month would be different. But when you're talking hundreds of dollars a month, it's unaffordable. You can't afford to have it. And I mean, and to pay the penalty, they've already told us that we're going to have a $4,000 penalty if we decide not to go with it. I mean, it's just broken. It is truly broken, and I'm torn. I'm just torn, and I'm glad that you gave us some insight tonight. I really feel that numbers are everything. Like you said, Einstein was on to numbers years ago, and I think the whole universe is made up of numbers. So, and that's why I just asked about the vibrating number. Does it hold more vibration?
It holds more vibration. Einstein was a 99. Tesla was all double numbers. Gates is all double numbers. I mean, with Trump having those 14s and then these double numbers, which he does not have in his name, what's interesting to me is the misuse of power, because it is still in association with the 14, you see, because that's what he brought in. So we can't really look at the 11 and 22 without realizing that that fanaticism to maybe even try to investigate and do some shady things. I mean, I think the problem that I had with the whole thing, it was all about Clinton and what she did recently, and I can't find it in her numbers. They're more covert. Her being a double Scorpio, it would be covert. They're more secretive. His are the opposite. His are right out in your face, But
I hate to interrupt,
it's just more prevalent. Yeah.
The show just kind of ended. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
But I want to thank you both for. And what's your first name? I just want to say thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. When I saw the show, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to listen to this one.
Well, glad you called in, and I want to thank you and have a wonderful night.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good luck with that insane insurance.
Well, and you know what? My life path number is an 8, so I'm hoping that will help me. God, I'm telling you, it's so scary. Actually,
8 helps. 8 helps a lot. It's good to have an 8. That's for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
You have a great night.
You also. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, Todd, we just have maybe another minute or so. If you just want to promote your book and website, you're on Facebook too, Todd Curran Numerology, and you want to talk about your book real quick and where to get it and.
Yes, the name of my book is The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. You can just put in The Mysteries of Numerology and go to Amazon, and you can buy it off of there. You can look in it. It's $20. It has a tremendous amount of information in it. There are hundreds and hundreds of people in it. After you learn your numbers in the first half, the rest is all about lining up the numbers and proving it. And anyway, I sell it out everywhere I go, so you might want to get that.
Oh, definitely. I love it. I love that book. And if you love rock and roll and numerology, that's the book for you. And once again, I want to thank you, Todd, for joining me on this impromptu radio show on the eve of the 2016 presidential election. And may the best person win. And and everybody just calm down. Everything will work out because we the people will make it right, no matter who takes the helm. So just want to say good night to everybody. God bless, and go out and vote. Your vote counts. Have a good night, Todd.
Good night, Susan.
Thanks again.